This booth had a greeter. Isn't he great? I love this. Now stay with me and I'm going to show you how to use a cake compote. Okay, I found a cake compote that is not taped together, so I'm going to try to show you this one more time, okay? You take this part off and you sit this part up here, okay? And that's considered your cake stand. When you're done, you just take this back off and put the lid on it. That's the way those were intended to be used. Hey guys, I'm here at the Hickory Antique Mall. I was supposed to film here a while back, but every time I came by, they were just too busy to try to film in here. So I'm going to go in here today and see what they've got. As soon as you walk in the front room, this is what you will see. There is so much to choose from, and look at these lamps, y'all. This one has been marked down to $395. They have this tall balloon vase. It has been marked down to $90. It is Italian and it is signed. They have this ornate stained glass table lamp for $325, and this Victorian, it's an electrified oil lamp for $200. Electrified years ago, I think that's what it says. I'm not sure. It's really pretty though. One thing I want to point out is if you've been in this antique mall before, there used to be a solid wall right here. You could not go that way. You had to turn and go in this way, but they have since then opened that up and you can now go around through that way. In this first case right here, as you come through the doors, all jewelry is 45% off in this case, and they have some fabulous things to choose from. Now, this is a locked case, so you do have to ask for someone to come and assist you, but look at all of these brooches they have. They have some really gorgeous brooches. There's some really pretty necklaces hanging down here too. There's quite a bit of brooches to choose from on this bottom shelf, and there's some costume jewelry, rings and bracelets. Look at these wraparound, this snake wraparound bracelet. That's really pretty with the rhinestones. The filigree heart right there is really, really pretty. So if you like brooches and crystal necklaces, they got a lot to choose from. And then here's some rings for men. So men, if you like sterling silver or skull rings, you need to come and check us out. Oh, look at the peacock case. I don't know if that's a cigarette case or not. I can't see the tag, but that's gorgeous. This is a pretty big mall, and they have added in quite a few vendors in here. They have rearranged and made space to add in even more. So it's changed a lot since the last time I was here as far as how some of the booths are laid out in the middle of the store. This is cute, very different. It's a hand-carved bowl with a giraffe handle for $18. There is so much to see in here that I will probably do 2 or 3 separate shorter videos just so that it will not be so overwhelming to try to do it in one video, because that would be overwhelming for me and overwhelming for you. Look at this Humpty Dumpty. Oh my goodness. It is marked down to $32. It's a Bob Timberlake. Wow. I haven't seen that one before. Here is a single shelf vintage spice rack. These are super cute to use to hold your makeup or your fingernail polishes, ladies. You can paint those any color you want, restain them, whatever, to fit your decor, and then use them to hold your makeup. I have to show you this because I haven't seen one of these things like forever, like since my childhood. This is a vintage tin candle box holder that would be hung on the hearth of your fireplace. Isn't it fabulous? Oh my It still opens and everything. That is so cute. I love to come in and look at this front window because you'll find a lot of fabulous glassware right here. Glassware always looks fabulous in the light, and especially natural light. Look at this little ruby red cauldron. It is so pretty, and it's $8. This is a toothpick holder. Of course, you could put some very small flowers in there too if you wanted. Lots of beautiful amberina glass and amber glass. This is a Murano bowl right here. And this one is, it does not say who it's by, but it's emerald green. And y'all know I love green, so we got to check it out. Very pretty. This swan is $26. It's labeled as Murano also. I don't know if this one's Murano. Yes, it says it's Murano too. Swans are perfect for your home decor for spring and summer. Just so many fabulous things to look at. Gosh, this is gorgeous. Can't read the tag. It is faded too much from being here in the sunlight. These are Fenton, I know. These are the aquamarine crest. They're $28 a piece. Super pretty. Check this one out. Oh my God, that is such a brilliant color. That'd be perfect for spring and summer, that's for sure. It is $38. It is Anchor Iverson. It's considered a tulip vase. Oh, and there's an orange one back here too. So if you like those bright colors for spring and summer, here you are. Don't forget to look down around the edges of the floors right here because they have things everywhere. There's just so much in here. If you prefer more muted colors, something softer than the bright oranges and yellows, then you could go for the blues. They do have the lighter blues, the satin blues, the cobalt blues. Look at this. This is so pretty, the ruffled dish. Once again, the tags are faded from being in the sunlight because they sit in the sunlight all day right here, y'all. Look at this. This is gorgeous. So many fabulous colors. I just love seeing all of this color displayed. This one is a Murano and it is $58. It's a pink zigzag pattern. I haven't seen this one in here before. Look at the yellow canisters down here. These are metal, I think. They might be aluminum. Let's see. $85 for a piece. Hand painted. It doesn't say if they're aluminum or just another type of metal. I remember my grandmother had aluminum canisters when I was a kid. Back then we had the aluminum pots and pans and canisters. We also had the white enamel with the red trim. We had a lot of that at Grandma's house. I'm just going to kind of give you guys a good look around. We're not going to go over every single item today. Just want to show you how much this place has changed. Either they're moving vendors around some. I think they got quite a few new vendors is what Michelle had told me the last time I was here, which was a couple of months ago. They were still working on getting some newer vendors in here. I like this. I recently sold some pink milk glass down from my antique shelf. Oh, how sad. This one's chipped. That's too bad. Because the pink milk glass seems to be kind of popular right now. If you don't have a lot of time to spend in here, at least make sure you check out this front window. Look at this thing. $56. I wanted to see how tall it is, but it doesn't say. It was made in Belgium, though. I would say this is at least 3 feet tall. 3.5 feet tall. Look at this old lighter. This is an old tabletop lighter. These things used to sit on everybody's coffee tables back in the 60s and 70s. $21. Highland Pottery. Has pheasants on there. So much to see. Sorry, I know I'm sitting here repeating myself. It's kind of overwhelming. There's so much stuff, y'all, that like when you come in, it's like, do I want to look this way or do I want to look that way? Because there are just so many different choices. So anyone with ADHD, beware that it is overwhelming. $250 for this vintage solid piece of cedar 4-shelf table. That's awesome. I had a friend that used to carve things out of cedar. He was awesome. He would carve eagles and other animals. He carved an entire totem pole that was in his house, and it was just fabulous. This antique Victorian silver plate bridal basket is $28. We had Mrs. Butterworth syrup when I was a kid. I think they've had a name change since then. I don't keep up with all of that different kind of stuff, but this old shop counter bell is $12, and it does work. Look at this case. This case is packed full, y'all. Oh my goodness! Like, I'm telling you, I just like don't know where to look from one second to the next because there is just so much. I do like the wooden monkey. I know a lot of people don't like monkeys, but I always find them very cute. It's the clowns that I usually are. I'm just not drawn to clowns. I just find the clowns creepy. I know some people say the same thing about the monkeys. This brass urn with the lid is $20. this booth here looks quite different from the last time I was in here. I don't know if it's a new vendor or not, but I'm thinking it could be. Either that or they've just done a lot of rearranging in their booth. I don't think I'm seeing anything that looked familiar to this particular booth the last time I was here, so I'm not sure. Oh, look at this old green sleigh planter, $30. It's a pottery sleigh. Oh, and it lifts off there, so that's just a base. It's two separate pieces. That's super cute. You don't normally see a green sleigh. Okay, I'm going to try to give you a look up on the top shelf, which is way up over my head, so bear with me. Okay, I just recently went to an estate sale, and they had a couple of these trees. This tag is faded. I think they want $75 for it. These are made out of large safety pins and beads. These were really popular back in the early 70s. Like my aunts used to make all that stuff for Christmas. Anyway, they had a smaller one of these, a plain white one, at the estate sale I went to recently, and I did not buy it. I thought about it, and the next day I saw one of my friends there and she bought it. So, cowbell, $35. Alright, I'm not going to pick out everything, but take you through the store here a little bit and show you, because like I keep saying, it looks very different than the last time I was here. They have added in a lot of cases, and they've made room for a lot of booths simply by rearranging. They do have a lot of glassware at this antique mall, so if you're looking for glassware in particular, especially vintage glassware, then you'll definitely want to come and check it out. Okay guys, if you've been watching YouTube videos for a while, then you know a lot of creators, including myself, have been complaining about the copyright strikes for music. If you're unaware, YouTube uses AI to detect music in the background of our videos now. So with that being said, AI is very sensitive and it can pick up on music very easily in the background. So there will be parts of this video where I have to delete out all commentary because the music is coming through in the background. Okay, these doors are not wanting to move easily, so I am not going to try to move them. They got all kinds of different glassware here in this particular booth. I think they need to oil the doors or something, because they do not want to slide at all. And when they say please do not pick up the baskets by the handles, they're saying please do not pick up these glassware baskets by the handles, because they can be very fragile, because most of them are very, very old. And even if they look like they're in perfect condition, they can be fragile. So always pick them up from the base around the rim there, okay? Any of you experienced antiquers know that you pick stuff up by the base and not the handle, but some of you newer folks may not realize that. So just a helpful tip for you guys. The rose crust vase back there is $100. Right there. Okay, sorry if you see me like jerk my camera around really fast. Usually that means I've had another customer, employee, or a child come into view and I'm turning around to avoid capturing them in my video. I know I can capture people in my video in the background, we're out in public and all of that, but out of respect for other customers, employees, and especially children, I do try to ensure I'm not capturing others in my videos. If you are a subscriber or a regular viewer, then you know that that's just how I do things. If you're new to my channel, then I want you to know that I do go out of my way to not capture you in the background if you ever see me out filming, okay? And once again, that's just how I operate. I know there's a lot of other people out there that do videos, and they do put people in the background of their videos, and that is their choice. I make a conscious effort to make sure I'm not capturing you, because I have had other people to ask me to make sure that I edit them out of my videos because they didn't have makeup on, or they didn't feel like they were dressed right or anything else. And I'm not here to mock anybody or cause anybody any kind of pain, so I do go out of my way to make sure that you guys are not captured in my videos. Sorry guys, this is one of those areas where the music was coming through too loudly in the background of the video, and I had to delete out all of the original commentary through this portion of the video. These brass bookends are so cute. They want $35 for these. They're super fun. These would be great to use in your kitchen decor to hold your cookbooks and whatnot on your kitchen counter if you like brass and if you like to decorate using farm animals. Okay, let me tell you about these. These are tabletop wreath holders. This one's $10.99. They're $10.99 each. I recently bought one. Mine's just plain though. It doesn't have the star on top. And I use them to hold my little umbrella. So I don't use them as tabletop wreath holders. I've got one sitting right by the door, and it holds my miniature umbrella by the string, and I just pop it on there every time I come in the door or grab it as I go out. So I have my little umbrella right there, because since I don't use the big tall umbrellas, I don't need a full-blown large umbrella stand. It works out really well. Sometimes you just gotta think outside the box as to how you can use things in a different way. These red end tables are $45.99 a piece. And this gossip bench, my grandparents had gossip benches in their house. A gossip bench is where you used to sit and talk on the telephone. This is $120. Your telephone would sit here. And back in the day, we had paper telephone books because we didn't have the internet or Google. And your telephone book went under here, or your address book that had the names and addresses and phone numbers of all your friends. And you sat right there and talked in the telephone, because back then your telephones plugged into the wall and you couldn't walk all over your house to talk. The first time my kids saw a rotary telephone, they were terribly confused. And it was shocking to me to stop and think about, like, the fact that they didn't even know what a rotary phone was, because that was before they were even born. Each booth has its own vibe going on. Look at this old vintage pool ball rack. It's $350. You could repurpose that to hold just about anything, y'all. $1960 spaceship flying saucer toy. It works. $275, and they do have the original box for it. This swinging baby frame is $55. I'm not going to swing it because you can see it's very old, and it does have some cracks around the wood, and I do not want to mess with that. I love to stop and look at the jewelry. If you're a younger person, here's some of those rotary dial phones I was talking about. This part would plug into the wall, into a phone jack, and you would have to sit on one of those gossip benches to do all your gossiping on the telephone, because we didn't have text messages and internet back in the day. I loved Goofy when I was growing up. This is the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. It is here in North Carolina. I have been up in that one multiple times. This whole back corner back here has been rearranged. There used to be another vendor back here. This is totally different. It's cute. I really like this layout. Look at this rug they have for sale. $30. It's a 5x7. Yeah, this whole back corner looks way better than it used to. I don't know. Yeah, you could probably go back into my previous videos for the Hickory Antique Mall and compare the layout from then to now and see that it is very, very different back here in this section. I like it. This is a great improvement to the store, I think. We won't necessarily stop at every booth today because, as I said, I want to make sure it's not too overwhelming, but I do want to kind of walk through here and show you the layout of the place, especially since they have moved so many things around recently. and added in these new vendors. Because I know, especially for my older folks that watch, people, and by older I mean people my age and upward, I know some of you with mobility issues, you need to know the best way to get around the quickest so you can get to where you want in the place. So that's why it's really important to me to give you a good walkthrough so you kind of know your way around before you even get in the store. They do have quite a bit of vintage clothing in this antique mall, so if you like vintage clothing, you gotta come here and check it out. The pair of tables is $80, pie crust tables, and they have been done in the meat. They have been redone and refurbished in the mint green. Lots of big vintage furniture pieces back here. I have met the vendor that runs this booth if the vendor hasn't changed, and she has several booths and she always has some really awesome stuff in here. This one's $45. It is a Griffin doorbell. I like that. That's gorgeous. Okay, so as you come this way, you can either go down this way or you can come into this room right here. And because the music's so loud, I will be doing a voiceover in just a minute. If you like vintage clothing, they do have quite a bit of vintage clothing back here in the back of the store. And as you can see, they also have some cowboy boots and some shoes and other items to choose from. If you like vintage jeans and vintage blue jean skirts, you can often find those back here too, as well as the blue jean jackets. I really do not remember this booth being full of lamps right here the last time I was here. Maybe it was, or maybe it's just moved from another location, but I really don't remember this. Anyway, they've got some really cute vintage lamps, and I'm always on the lookout for some cute vintage lamps. I like this hand-painted one right here. It's super cute. Alrighty guys, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the location of the speakers or something for the stereo, but the music was so loud in this back section of the antique mall that I had to delete out all of my original commentary and do a voiceover again. There's a lot to choose from. As you can see, it is very overwhelming in here. There's just stuff to see everywhere. And I really didn't know which way I wanted to turn and look from one moment to another, just because there is so much to choose from. This hand-painted footed egg-shaped dish would be super cute to use for your Easter decor. Alrighty, y'all, I have met my new friend for the day. Isn't he great? I love it. It's always nice to have a greeter in a booth, right? Everybody needs their own personal greeter. Lots of various collectibles to choose from, but I got my eye on this fabulous baby carriage. Look at what great shape that thing is in. Oh my, that's special. I haven't seen one like that in forever, and especially not in this good of shape, y'all. Oh my, it is $100. And I'm telling you, it would be well worth that price because look at it. The tires, everything is in really good condition. There's one small tear right here beginning on the vinyl, but this thing is in great condition from what I can see. Look at the baby in it and everything. Oh, how cute. Okay, before I think there were like 3 or 4 booths in this section, and now there's 2 larger ones, and it looks so much better back here. It really does. Hat tip to Jay and his crew for getting things rearranged and getting new vendors in here and just making everything look a little bit fresher and different and bringing in all of these new items, new vintage items, I should say. But there's so much to choose from. I really love the changes that Jay has made in this antique mall. It just looks so much brighter and fresher in here. It really does. And he's done a wonderful job in here, I think. She's fabulous. It's a planter for $15. $22 for the brass planters. This booth back here has been dramatically redone too. Looks great. Everything looks more open. Last time I was in here, this particular section was just so crowded. It was really hard to move through. So I really like it that it's far much more open. Fabulous. Another lighthouse print, so I gotta check it out. I just gotta look, can't help myself. Oh, okay, ladies, if you like to collect vintage rolling pins, buy yourself some on the counter wine bottle holders. You know, the ones everybody donates now because everybody switched over to wine coolers and small wine refrigerators. Get you an on the counter wine rack and slide your rolling pins in there, and that is a great way to display those now. Okay, I want to make sure I'm not missing too much. Give you just a good overview. There's artwork everywhere, so if you like vintage artwork, you want to check around because you don't want to miss out. They got some really cute pieces. I like these. These are $45. I love that frame. It's got the blue on the... I love these frames with the blue in between the gold like that. It's really pretty. Then as you come out here, this vendor sells records and books and whatnot. Well, wait, I take that back. Not records, it's all books. I thought they had some vinyl, but they don't. And we're going to go in the other direction because they're over here helping a customer right now. If you like costume jewelry, this booth here has a lot of costume jewelry to choose from. They also have rings and things in this locked case. This place is really big, so you could spend a lot of time in here, y'all. I mean, a lot of time. Offers are accepted, so please feel free to ask at the desk. Well, there's kind of a few things I've seen that I might just make an offer on. We'll see. If there's anything I just cannot live without today, right? See, that's the key. I gotta feel like I have to have it because I don't collect things. But there are certain things that I do enjoy a lot, and if I can find a way to use them other than just as decor to sit around, like if I can find something that I can repurpose, like a door knocker, I can use that, but I gotta be able to use it because I'm not one just to collect things and let them sit around and then have to dust around them. These eggs are pretty fabulous. Those eggs are pretty fabulous, and with Easter right around the corner, somebody might be interested in one of those. I love that green basket, $39.99. Who is that made? Tiara Emerald Green. It's beautiful. If you're a collector, they have a lot of collectibles in here, y'all. This is gorgeous, this Fenton Bud vase. It is a water lily for $24.99. Looks like it's in really good condition. And then the cake dish is $29.99. Lots of brass. There is just so much to see, y'all. I mean, there are so many different booths down each walkway. So, see, headed back towards the way I came in, but we're going this way because I keep running into other customers. Once again, I'm trying to give you a good idea of the layout of the place. All colored price comics are $2, $20 for $30, or $50 for $60. Lots of vintage clothing in some of these booths. So I haven't seen that much vintage clothing in here before. They've always had a lot, but they really have a lot now. So once again, girls, guys, if y'all like getting your vintage clothing, make sure you come here and check out Hickory Antique Mall. We're going to check out the super large paperweight orb, $19.99. It is a very large orb. Check out this pan figurine from Italy, $6 as is. The tip of his hat is broken off. Super cute. Alrighty guys, I'm up in the front section of the store again, and the music got really loud. Here's some more vintage clothing. So once again, if you like vintage clothing, come in here and check it out, because there are quite a few booths in here that sell vintage clothing now. There's a lot of collectibles, a lot of different vintage lamps and glassware to choose from. That is a gorgeous Jack in the Pulpit for $89.99. That's fabulous. It's hand painted. It's Fenton. It's got to be signed on the bottom because it's hand painted. It's in a lock cabinet, so I'm not going to get them to open it up because they're short-staffed today and they're very busy. I have a cranberry compote with a lid just like this. And they're asking $17.95 for theirs. It's in just as good a condition as mine.
That tells a story. Yeah. That's everything they run that day. They scoop it up and melt it down and it comes to play. Can I get a little stand come?
The stands don't come like that.
Do you have any for sale?
We do not. The lady here yesterday that bought a bunch of the little plates in the front. That's the only one I can promise you.
Alrighty guys, I just finished up in the Hickory Antique Mall. They got some great stuff. New vendors. They've rearranged things. They took out that wall out front, opened it up. This place looks so much better, brighter, more spacious in most areas. Now, there's still some booths that just have so much stuff in there that it's overwhelming. But like some of the booths, they have expanded and made them a little bit larger to fit the larger furniture and whatnot, much better. And it just looks really good in there right now. So congratulations, guys. You've done a very good job. Thank you so much to Jay and Michelle for allowing me to come in and film today. Anyway, guys, I hope to see you again real soon for the next video. Love ya. Bye.